Summers is the man, and you're going to learn about it tonight. Actually, did you happen to see my brother Ben as we get into this show? Because it's happening right now. We're live. We're live. I'm getting pumped up, getting the blood flowing. Okay, my brain can work now. How about your brain?
I'm confused.
When aren't you? Okay, here's the deal, man. I watched what is the guy's thing called?
I have no idea.
I can't remember what it is. There's a guy who did a breakdown. I gotta look it up now. It's like Spiral something or something. He's very boring. He's very like
that's not nice.
Blah 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 blah. And
you shouldn't say somebody's boring.
Is their run defense really that bad? Well, let's take a look.
Here's I saw happens.
That. Yeah. And then, but then at the end, he said they're like average.
They're not that bad.
I don't know. Are they really? But then he showed how bad like the linebackers are and how bad Christian Kirksey is, and how the other linebackers don't know what they're doing, and the D tackles can't do what they're supposed to do, which is control two gaps, which of course they can't. Like Dean Lowry's going to control two gaps on his own. What? Tyler Lancaster going to control two gaps on his own? A guy you picked up off the street is going to be a two gapper? Come on, man. Kenny Clark's supposed to be, but kinda. All right. I know. Are we getting into some Aaron Jones tonight? You got some Aaron Jones ranting to do? Or are we just letting it go? Are we letting it go? You don't know? Okay. Hey, welcome in, everybody. I don't know how we started this show, but we're supposed to not do anything cool at the beginning because Ekis couldn't be available till a little bit after the top of the hour, so we couldn't do anything cool. So that's what I was just working on. How was that? Not cool? Was that good at not being cool right there? Or informative?
As long as I stay quiet, yes, it's very good at not being cool.
Woo! Rick is here. Rick. Yes. Hey, Rick. I love Rick so much.
You know, I miss Rick. I have not seen him in a while, but he's an awesome guy.
No, he's always good for a lot of stuff. He's smart, snarky, funny, kind of nice, kind of a jerk. All the best qualities in a friend. All in one package, all in one guy. I love it. And he's a Raiders fan. And your damn quarterback screwed me again. God, what the? Why does Derek Carr?
We should talk about that at the beginning because Ekis won't care about that.
Freaking Ekis and his lucky BS again. Yep. So I won last week. My team was awesome. And then I got to play Ekis this week. And what happens on Thursday night? Oh, Derek Carr hurts his groin. And so he only scores 2.55 fantasy points out of my quarterback. What kind of BS is that? You know what that is? That's Ekis luck. That's not Derek Carr. Derek Carr didn't do that. He didn't pull that groin. Ekis pulled that groin with his damn severe fantasy luck.
I just have one thing to say.
Okay.
If we brought back the one thing where Nick said that I actually had a good idea at one time, or actually Rick might have said Rick said I had a good idea. Franchise half and half. Franchise half and half would have saved you, my friend. You wouldn't have 2.5 points from your quarterback. You'd have half of your backup quarterback's stats. You franchise your quarterback, and then you do half of his stats of the backup, and therefore you would at least have some points. But without franchise half and half, you have 2 points. And that's why you're probably going to lose. And me, on the other hand, I have Justin Herbert. And he's freaking good. Except for some dumb reason in the fourth quarter, he only attempted one pass. Because the freaking Chargers are stupid. And Anthony Lynn should be fired because he's an idiot. And I watched the end of that game and I was like, it's like the Raiders are like, here, I don't want the win. You take it. And the Chargers are like, no, you take it. And then the Raiders are like, no, you take it. And then the Chargers were like, wait a minute. You take it. And it was just like, what is going on? And then it went to overtime. And then they were, and then the Raiders wasted all that clock. And then they got in and kicked the field goal. And then the Chargers were like, and then Justin Herbert's like, okay, we ain't going through this crap anymore. Where I only throw one pass. I'm going to throw one pass. It's going to be awesome. And a lot of people were saying, they were like, whoa, you underthrew him. And I'm like, watch the play again. because Herbert gets hit as he's letting go of that pass, by the way. So he threw a 50-yard freaking bomb as he was getting hit. And he couldn't even follow through. And it went that far, all the way to the freaking 1-yard line. And then he fumbled. But then his guys fell on it in the end zone, and then they made him do it again. And then he got in the end zone, and then all that kind of stuff. It sucks for the Raiders because they're wiped out now. And it sucks because John Gruden is probably like my favorite head coach because I just like guys that are crazy. So it's sad. I'm sorry, Rick. It hurt me. Mariota looked pretty good, but I mean, is that sustainable for an entire season? Him running around like a crazy person? I don't think so. But he looked insane. He was like unstoppable there for a while. But it's a sad day last night for the Raider fans.
Sorry, Rico.
Sorry, Rick. Sorry, Rick. It's too bad.
I'm gonna start calling him Rico. Rico and Nico. At least when he comes on the show where he's paired with Nico, then he's gonna be Rico.
I thought it was Nick and Rick, which was Naked Rick. Remember?
I know that's too dangerous. We can't ever say that again.
Now we gotta say Nico and Rico. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But then
our ratings went up when it was Naked Rick.
Then I want to cut. Well, yeah, but that only lasts a short period of time. I want to actually kind of call him Rico, but I don't know if that
Suave. Remember that song? Rico. Suave. That was the worst. Remember that guy? Anybody remembers that song? Go back and check it out. Rico Suave. That was the guy's name, and his song was Rico Suave, I think, but I don't remember. I can't remember exactly what, but in the song, his name was Rico Suave, and then the song he just went Rico Suave, and he had the long hair, and he was all like cool. Yeah. There's another guy. There's another guy who reminded me of him. Does Rick remember that Rico Suave guy?
He remembers. Bernard does it. Bernard's too young, but
Bernard's too young. And then there's another guy. We found this. Me and Jesse were showing Olivia a bunch of really bad late 80s, early 90s videos. Yeah, I need that. Go away, child. Anyways, that was my son. I told him to get out of here.
Hey, Granto.
Uncle Jay says hi. Oh, he ran away. He's already mad at me now. Okay. Anyways, we found Dino. Remember Dino, who had the long hair, and he was like, "That's the way it has to be, because that's the way I like it." Remember that? That was the worst. It was like Rico Suave, that Dino guy. There was like all like the late 80s, early 90s. There was like these really bad, like supposed to be cool, but like, like Vanilla Ice type guys, but they were singer guy. It was bad. It was like a whole realm of these guys that were just, it was bad.
What bad news? Hey, Mom and Dad are here. Mom and Dad.
Bernard's
here. Bernard says, "Go Pack, go." Bernard's here. Bernard is already scared. Bernard, don't be scared of every opponent.
Every week he's scared. Maybe that's his thing. Maybe he worries for so that the rest of us don't have to worry. See,
that's true.
That's good.
It's working, Bernard. Keep it up. It's working so far to the tune of 10-3. We like that.
Hey, Mom and Dad, I got to call you tomorrow. Can I call you tomorrow in the afternoon after 3:00? Say yes in the comments.
Say yes in the comments. I got one share for you here. All right.
Okay, let's see it.
Because we got to do it. We got to get it. Oh, hang on. I'm not ready yet. Say something. I'm almost ready.
Well, I was going to say, check out my Zip and Pippin sweatshirt from Green Bay, Bay Beach. I bought this from there when I was there. Went there all the time when I was a kid. We go back and that's the one good thing about Bay Beach. I'll say this.
Say it.
You could have a bunch of stuff going on, and you can just show up, ride a couple things, get the crap out of there. You don't have to it's not like other amusement park places where you gotta pay to get in there, and you gotta pay like a crap ton of money just to get in there. So you feel like you have to be there all day, or else you wasted your money. Bay Beach is like, oh, I got an hour. Let's just go there, ride the roller coaster, go on the tilt-a-whirl thing for a while, whatever, get the crap out of there, And it's one of those things where a bunch of times when we go back home, visit Mom and Dad, on our way back through Green Bay, especially when the kids were a little bit younger, we'd stop there for an hour or whatever, ride a couple things, and get, then drive back to Minnesota. But at least it was something where it's a nice place where you could just go, bring your family, spend a couple hours, whatever. You don't have to be there all day long, and the rides are cheap because it's like whatever little ticket things. It's the same damn ticket things they've had there for 25,000 years. And hey, it's a cool stuff. Okay, right, Mom, I'm calling you.
Stop talking.
Well, you told me to talk, so I did.
I know. Now I'm ready. Ready?
Okay.
Here you go. Oh, look at that. Let's get close.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do
That is a terrible outfit. Terrible outfit.
Yeah, you don't wear a jeans shirt with a jeans pants.
Any other guy, I just
All right, you gotta turn this off. You don't understand. You're old. You don't know that there's like a meme that's been going on for 10 years that people send this to each other to make them mad. It's like 10 years ago. So you gotta. We probably lost any viewers that we had.
Oh, sorry, Rick. I just rediscovered this video not that long ago. Oh,
You can't do that.
made me
Everybody.
laugh. Bernard knows that one. Bernard knows that one.
Bernard
Mom said
likes it.
Mom likes it.
Who does? Mom likes it.
Mom likes it. No, Browner says you can call him tomorrow too. How about that? All right, let's get into Pat. Do we waste enough time?
One more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I am not going to get any spoilers.
Good.
But I just got to have a special guest for tonight. We got, where is he? There he is.
What do you call it again? Browner's out. Don't be out, Browner.
It's Grogu himself.
Oh, look.
Look at him. He's using the Force to raise that X-Wing behind me.
This.
It did work.
Very nice.
Anybody didn't watch The Mandalorian? Get your butts on Watch The Mandalorian, episode 8 of season 2 tonight.
Oh my gosh.
It is worth it. It is worth it.
I didn't watch it.
You should watch all the episodes before that, but even if you haven't, you should still watch at least the last 10 minutes. But nobody spoil it to anybody in the chat or anything like that. If you haven't watched it yet, but gosh dang, Vernon, get yourselves out there and get yourself some Grogu and The Mandalorian for the special ending of episode 8.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, that's enough.
We wasted enough time. Ekis is here now. We got to get into Bernard. Bernard, we're going to help you out. All right, Bernard. First of all, you can be scared because it's working right now. The other thing is, I know you want to, you just should stop watching Molly Queerum or whatever. What's their last name? Queerum something. Who did she marry? Jalen Rose or something?
Yeah, it's funny.
She's just like, come on, man. I mean, she's ridiculous. So don't worry about it. All right. And then other than that, Bernard says he gets a little nervous before games sometimes. Okay. That's all right. Sometimes I get a little nervous too, but not really anymore. I feel pretty good. Because, the Packers are doing. I just went back and I watched some old shows and I was like, okay, what did we think before the season started? What do we think about, back in May? And I went and watched some of the stuff we said in May. And I mean, we were kind of like, I thought they'd be 8-8. Lots of people, we were thinking it would be a real big struggle.
What did I say?
You said they were going to be like 11-5.
Oh, hey!
Or 12-4.
Well, somebody knows stuff.
However, you said they were going to lose to the Saints. And they would lose to one other team that they beat. Yeah, the Niners. So
I didn't know the 49ers were going to have half their team on COVID-19. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Hey, you made another wild prediction, and I'm going to bring that up in the offseason to throw in your face because I was right again. I want somebody to keep a tally about how many times I'm right versus how many times you're right.
Well, then you're going to be way behind.
The one thing I'll say is I get fired up sometimes. I get excited about some guys, and then I'll say things like Lucas Patrick is the best offensive lineman the Packers have had in the last 30 years.
That's not
other than Mark Tauscher, and that's too far. But he is my favorite. So I really like him. I love me some Lukey Patrick. Yeah. All right. Are we going to sign Aaron Jones? Bernard wants to know.
No.
You said that back before in the show with Viking Mo. Mo asked you about it, and you said, no, they're going to let him go. They're done.
Yeah. It's not even a secret. It's the same thing we've known since last year. If they didn't sign him during the season last year when he was destroying everybody, we know they weren't going to sign him back. They're not going to sign him back. And here's the other thing I heard, a rumor, by the way.
Oh,
I heard a little rumor that Jamal Williams is close to signing an extension. Yeah. And guess who has previously had the same agent as Jamal Williams? One Aaron Jones, who is not in, who was supposed to be in talks for extension, but obviously wasn't. So his agent was spending more time talking about Jamal Williams' extension instead of talking about Aaron Jones' extension. And that's what led to Aaron Jones being like, you know what? See you later, pal. I'm going for the Bucks. Give me the house, the Rosen house. And that's what happens. And if the Packers re-sign, if they give him, okay, not even just re-sign, but if they do an extension with Jamal Williams in the middle, like during the end of the season here, I would be like flabbergasted into stupidity, because not me stupid, but them stupid. I'm just like, no, let him see the free agent market and see that he can't get any money and then sign him for super cheap. I mean, you could still, like, if you're going to let Aaron Jones go, like, let him at least go and see what he can get on the open market, right? Maybe Aaron Jones' market's not as good as he thought. Maybe the salary cap goes down, teams aren't willing to pay a bunch of money for running backs, and after Aaron Jones goes out in the free agency market, and then he sees that teams aren't willing to pay him that much, and then maybe he can get back and talk to the Packers and sign a deal with the Packers and give him a discount, because he's like, okay, what I've been offered from these other teams isn't nearly as good as what this is. But if they give Jamal Williams an extension, that pretty much closes the door on Jones, and 100% closes the door on Jones. Now, these are just rumors I've heard. I'm not saying it's the truth, or that I've heard complete sources, and God, don't source me. I know nothing. But these are things I've heard as to why Aaron Jones possibly could have been mad. Not mad, but why the change of agent happened. But it's more, and then also Eckes put something, he sent us something today about that Aaron Jones switches agent to Rosenhaus because he wants to get a deal done with the Packers. It's like, no. Eckes, no. Rosenhaus has never had good relationship with the Packers. I'm pretty sure Rosenhaus was the agent for Javon Walker back in the day, which was a big mess. If everybody remembers, I'm pretty sure Javon Walker's agent was Drew Rosenhaus, and that was a disaster. And that was the last time Drew Rosenhaus represented anybody who was with the Packers of any type of, clout that could have been a possible good player or whatever.
Yeah, I think he was T-Buck's agent as well, Tony Manwich.
Okay, now I don't know about all that, but what I am saying is we just gotta, like, it's not going to happen, everybody. So here's the thing that I say. What I've noticed about Aaron Jones this season, there's more often than not when he catches a pass on the boundary, where if he gets a run to the boundary, he'll kind of make a guy miss and then kind of run out of bounds. And what we saw in that 77-yard touchdown run is he needs to not do that anymore. He needs to just say, you know what? Every time I get the ball, I don't know if I'm going to come back in the game again. So I better take this sucker to the house every single play instead of him running out of bounds. And I know he's running out of bounds because he's like, I don't want to get hurt because I got to get some money. But at this point, he needs to prove to everybody that he is the man. And it's shown this year. Last year when the Packers got inside the 10-yard line, 20-yard line, they ran the ball. And Aaron Jones got a bunch of touchdowns that were like 15 yards, 17 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards. This year, they're passing every time. Rodgers wants all the records. He wants the MVP. So he's passing it. So Jones needs to just go nuts, stay in bounds, don't run out of bounds, make guys miss. You still do your thing, do everything he always does, which is avoid the big hit, which he usually does a pretty good job of. He usually has a good awareness of what's around him, and he makes guys miss, and he turns his body just the right way so he doesn't get hit, all that kind of stuff. But there's no way he's going to be a Packer next year. If he is, that'd be the greatest thing in the world. But I'd say it's like a 2% chance at this point. Because the Packers don't respect running backs. They never have. They don't respect the inside linebackers. They never have. And that's the reason why we can't get the Super Bowl. Because every other team that's good has got good inside linebackers that are fast, and they got good running backs. Look at the Saints. Did they sign their guy back? Yes. Look at the Vikings. Did they sign their guy back? Yeah. I mean, come on. Who else? A bunch of teams.
Because super talented dudes don't come along. I know the NFL thinks you can just get another running back and slap them in there. And yeah, okay. I mean, they'll be okay. But as I've stated previously, this offensive line, Aaron Jones is the best running back to work with this offensive line. Other running backs are not going to work as well. And that's just the way it is. Now I have to respond to a couple of things you said. One, Ekis got a couple questions, some other people too. We'll get to that, but that's a stupid rumor, and I don't like it. Because why in the world would you try to sign Williams to an extension? I don't even care if he signs for the veteran minimum. Like, that's all he's going to get. I mean, no other team
look at
is
his
going to give him
stats.
any money.
Look at his stats now.
For Jamal Williams,
he's got yards. He's
no
got
other team. Who's
I
going to
know that.
Who's going to give him money, Ben?
Nobody. That's what
Yes.
I'm saying. This would be like a freaking Nick Perry. This would be a Nick Perry problem.
Please
you know
don't.
what? We better make sure we have a guy here who could sort of rush the passer because we need him. Remember they paid Nick Perry all that money? Why? And then he sucked. And then they cut him after 1 year. And it was like, great move. Genius move, guys. It was a desperation move. So what are they going to do? They know they can't sign Jones back. They don't have the cap space, and they aren't willing to give him this payday he deserves. So they're like, okay, we better get Jamal Williams because we know he can at least run in this. He can help out in the system because when Jamal Williams is in the game, we move the ball and we produce and we do it. He's good and he's fine. He's not a bad back. He's good. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
I'm not saying he's bad either.
What I am saying
no
is
one's going to get money.
Right. Like on the open market, he would get, I mean, maybe a little bit better than league minimum, but not much. He'd be like Kevin King. He's Kevin King. He's the Kevin King of the offense. Okay. That's what he is.
He's better, though.
He probably is better than Kevin King. I don't know. But what I'm saying is like, and then Eckes is saying like, where would Aaron Jones go in the free agency? I don't know. I don't know any team that would be willing to pay money to a running back at this point. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference maker. Like who would do that other than a team that's not a contending team? You know what I mean? He'd have to go to probably a stinky team or a team that was like, okay, we need to get like I said, the Bills need a running back who can do all kinds of crazy stuff because they don't have that guy. But a lot of teams think they can draft that guy. Very few teams try to sign that running back. You know what I mean? In free agency. The only I can't even remember that many running backs that got moved in free agency. Like I remember when Jerick McKinnon got signed by the 49ers a few years back, and I was for like a pretty decent paycheck, and I was like, what? The guy didn't do jack squat with the Vikings half the time. How did he get all this money with the 49ers? So I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't know where he would go. That's what I'm saying. Like if he hit the free agent market, I think he would realize the money's not there. And it's disrespectful to Aaron Jones, but it's the truth. Like he's not a bell cow type guy. I think he could be, but they don't use him that way. So he would have to probably sign. He would get offers for like a 1 year deal, like to like a prove it deal, or he would get like, you know, maybe $5 million, $6 million a year, which is half, not even half of what Delvin Cook's contract is. It's probably what he would get for like a 3 year deal, which is not what he deserves. He deserves more than that as a player, as a playmaker. But I don't want to spend all day on that. I mean, you know,
I think he could get easily, you know, from somebody 8 million or something, but a year for probably 3 years. But I just don't know. I don't know why the Packers aren't offering him at least that much. And if they have, because like some people, you know, Bruce brought up tagging him or whatever, and I get long term it's not quite as much money, but that means he's going to make way more money next year, which is
right. It's
you
not
have
going to help
concerns. You have major cap concerns next year, which we talked about, right? With everything that's going on and the reduction too, likely the cap going down, and then all those guys, and then you know, look, they didn't waste any time. They got Kenny Clark's deal done.
Oh yeah,
early, and then Bakhtiari's got done, you know, by mid-season. And it's like once those two things fell into place, then the writing was kind of on the wall there. You're like, okay, they're not serious about really trying to sign him. I mean, if he comes to him and gives him a big discount, then they'll be, oh yeah, sure, we'll take it. But they weren't serious about it. They prioritized those guys, which I don't think was probably the right move. And especially based on, you know, what they have defensively, but whatever. They continue to put a lot of resources, the team's draft picks and money and free agent signings into the defense, and it's still not that much better. So
here, I'm going to share something.
Goody should be fired.
You got me shared?
Even if they win the Super Bowl this year, Goody should be fired. Okay, go.
This is 3 Aaron Jones runs in a row at the end of the third quarter, end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter. It was Aaron Jones for 8 yards, Aaron Jones for 9 yards, Aaron Jones for 7 yards. Okay. And on all these plays, the blocking stinks. He should have got like 1 yard, and he ends up getting 8 yards. So he's right here. Just watch him. I didn't make any. Oh, you know where he is. He's in the backfield. Just watch him. There's nothing there. He makes that guy miss, bounces outside, makes 2 more guys miss, runs through a guy. He breaks that tackle, but he goes out of bounds. And watch how right here. Watch 91. Watch him split the double. He splits the double team. So Lucas Patrick and Bakhtiari. Look at that. Look at that guy. That was a great play by that defensive lineman. Look at that. He splits the double team and gets inside like that, which makes Lukey Patrick and Bakhtiari look like chumps. But then Aaron Jones makes it look good because he gets 8 yards. Should have got 1. Should have got 1. He gets 8. And that's the thing that people like when Aaron Jones is gone or when he's not out there, that's a 1 yard run by Jamal Williams. I'm sorry. He doesn't have the agility and the speed to get to the outside. He just doesn't. And neither does A.J. Dillon. So unless they draft the guy next year, which they probably will, thinking they can do it again. And I like this play because he lines up out here wide receiver. They bring him in motion and bring him back over here, and that kind of messes up the defense. And he gets 9 yards on this play. And it's right up the middle. There is not a big hole there. But he squeezes through, makes 2 guys miss, breaks tackles, and then gets tackled by a 21, who was the guy who went in motion in the first place. So he had man coverage on him. So the guy who had man coverage on him is the guy who makes the tackle. Nobody blocks him. But watch how little this hole is that he squeezes through. And it's pretty much look at Billy Turner. He goes right there. Billy Turner doesn't block anybody until the last second, which is good. And Jones, luckily, he was patient enough to wait, and then he squirted through super fast, which you don't see from this angle, but you did see from the other angle. He gets 9 yards on that. Jamal Williams probably would have had 8 yards in that too. So I mean, that's not like I think Jamal Williams would have been fine in that play. But this next one this is the one where it's like the wall of China is here. Another one where Aaron Jones is out. He comes back, but there's a big wall of China. He bounces in, and then he bounces back out again and runs all the way to the outside again. Gets 7 yards. So there's like nothing there. And from this angle, it looks like, oh, I should have went outside. There's nobody. Then you look, makes that guy miss. Then there's like 4 guys there. It's crazy. And when you watch from this angle, you watch Aaron Jones. After this happens here, there's 2 guys here because you thought like he wanted to take it out this way. But then he sees 2 guys, and you can watch his head. He looks at him, and then he's like, nope, I got to go the other way. So watch his head. You can see he looks over here first. He starts running that way. Then he's like, oh, crap, there's 2 dudes. No way. So then he's like, all right, hold on. Let me see. All right, I'm going this way. Bakhtiari's still holding his guy, and then he holds him right at the end. Good job. Good holding there, Bakhtiari. Then Jones makes that guy miss, runs through, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of stuff. So he's not getting 20-yard runs. Oh, you know why? His offensive line is not really blocking. Like not that they're not blocking well, but this stupid zone scheme where everybody just runs over this way and tries to get in the way, it doesn't lead to the same type of runs that like Delvin Cook gets or like Derrick Henry gets. And because of that, people don't see the big, like, Jones doesn't get these giant holes, but he makes it work. That was 3 plays in a row. 1, 2, 3. He got 8 yards. He got 9 yards. He got 7 yards. Boom, boom, boom. That led to a touchdown drive, obviously. And that's the kind of stuff that it just drives me nuts that he doesn't get any respect. He hasn't gotten the signing, but they give the money to Bakhtiari, who we've shown many times. Yes, he's a good pass blocker, but is he a great run blocker? Hell no. Is he worth being the highest paid offensive lineman? You can't run block that great. I mean, he holds all the time. He gets away with it. Oh, and I like Bakhtiari, but he does. And then Kenny Clark, he had a decent game against the Lions, but prior to that, he didn't do jack squat all year. And he's not a top high paid defensive inside linebacker. And Jones wouldn't even need to be the highest paid running back. I don't think he even wants to be the highest paid running back. He just wants to be paid what he deserves, and he's not going to get that. And it's a shame because he only gets 1 contract. Because running backs' lifespan in the NFL is 7 to 8 years, even for really, really good ones. Usually it's like 2 or 3 years for a running back, and they're out of the league. So he doesn't get the longevity these other guys get. And it's just sad. So I don't want to talk about Aaron Jones anymore. I want to just be happy he's with us now. Be happy to watch plays like the 3 I just showed you. Be as a Packer fan, know, hey, this is a guy who makes chicken salad out of chicken crap all the time. And next year, when you got A.J. Dillon and Jamal Williams running, and we end up having like 45 yards rushing every game, and Aaron Rodgers has got to throw for 500 yards, and we're not winning as many games, just remember why. Because it's Aaron Jones isn't there anymore. Okay, I'm done. I don't want to talk about Aaron Jones anymore. It makes me sad.
Okay. I was going to get into a little bit, but I'll just let it go. We'll bring it up in the offseason because
yeah. I mean,
when
it
he
doesn't
goes,
talk about it.
It's just an interesting list. Like Pat McAfee showed a stat during Aaron Rodgers' interview, because Rodgers got to, I forget, some point in Packers history, like most leading rushers or something, like on the whole list, which he's ahead of Aaron Jones, by the way, Ben.
Yeah, I know he is.
Just by a little bit in rushing yards. And actually, Aaron Rodgers has a 5.0 yards per carry. So he has the only person with a higher yards per carry in that whole Packer history leading rushers is Aaron Jones.
Well, yeah, because he's a freaking man.
I know.
Yeah, dang it. Don't get me mad again.
That's why it just makes me think about, let's think about our lifetime watching Packers football. And we've seen all these times when the Packers haven't really had a dynamic running back. They were fine. Ryan Grant was fine.
He was okay.
Lacey was okay for a while.
Nah.
He was okay for a while. It was never great, but he was okay for a couple of years. They've had, and James Starks was good.
James Starks is actually pretty dang good when you go back and watch
stay healthy.
Games. Yeah.
But so we've gone through this. So when you get a guy that's dynamic and a difference maker and makes the offense look different, like the value, you should put some value on that. But anyway, it's not what they're worried about. Clearly, when they made the decision, the front office made the decision when they put the big money into Kenny Clark and they put the big money into Bakhtiari. So here you are. And Bob Tunyon is only one. He's got 9 touchdowns. He's only the last time the Packers had a double-digit touchdowns by a tight end was Keith Jackson back in the day in the 90s. And the leading touchdown grab for a season, or touchdowns for a season for a tight end, is Paul Kaufman with 11 in Packers history.
Paul Kaufman.
So Bob Tunyon, who has 4 games in a row with a touchdown, could be the all-time leader in a single season for tight ends if he gets a few more touchdown grabs. So you're gonna have to reevaluate. And I think you said that too. Lazard is on a 1-year deal again.
Yeah, Lazard.
Tunyon's on.
Tunyon.
Those are key guys you got to have.
Tyler Irvin, who I don't think is going to be back next year because he's hurt all the time. So they're going to have to draft the guy who's a return specialist, because this is getting sad. They should have drafted the guy this last year. They had many guys. They had Hamler, who's with the freaking who's he with? I think he's with the Broncos or something. Rieger, they could have had. They could have had Hightower, who's also with the Eagles. They had 2 guys with the Eagles. They drafted 2 guys who had return abilities. And Hightower was a 3rd-round pick. They could have had him. They could have had a bunch of guys. They did. I don't want to get into that either. It just makes me too mad. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, the point is, Rodgers ran for his 30th rushing touchdown. That's why the graphic was up with McAfee and whatever. He's only had a couple of rushing touchdowns this year, but he's been effective on the ground too. He ran for a couple of first downs last week, so he's not running nearly as much or nearly as far, but he's still doing it when it's clearly beneficial to the team. However, Aaron Jones makes, like you said, something out of nothing all the time. And if you had other guys in there, it just wouldn't be the same. So we'll see how it goes. But like Ben said, take that approach. This has to be the year. It's been 10 years since the Super Bowl. The Packers have to do it. This has to be Super Bowl year. Get it done. No excuses. No falling apart in the playoffs. We know there's deficiencies. We know there's problems with the team. We know the defense has its issues. We know there's bad matchups in the NFC against certain teams. But it doesn't matter. They got to do it this year. Because after this year, next year's team will look significantly different. So, and that's mostly because of money, and also because you got a whole bunch of guys that weren't signed to longer contracts, and there's no way you can hold on to everybody you want to hold on to. So, And you got to hope some of the draft picks from this year actually can contribute next year. Because
I got a really bad feeling. Not only are we going to lose Aaron, I hate to say this. Not only are we going to lose Aaron Jones in free agency this year, I got a feeling we're going to lose Tunyon as well, because I don't think they can sign him back for the money he's going to command, because he has become a Pro Bowl tight end, and he will be in the Pro Bowl this year. He's got to be, because he's kicking everybody's butt. They can't sign him back. And now that, who do they got in the background? It's the same thing at running back, right? At tight end, who do they got? They got DeGuara. They got Jay Sternberger. They got two guys who are young who can produce.
Maybe.
They think. So they'll let a guy go who they should probably not let go. But it's the Micah Hyde thing. When they let Micah Hyde go, what do? They drafted Demarius Randall and the other guy, Rollins, in the second round.
Right.
Trying to make up for the fact that they let Micah Hyde go in free agency. And how did that go? Oh, yeah, that was a big freaking mistake. So, I don't know.
Here's what we can't quite put a cap on it yet, because I want to say this one thing that's really interesting, is that LaFleur has raved about Aaron Jones. Every time he's talked about him, he has raved about him, how hard he plays, how he gives it everything he has every time. He's got, he talks about how special of a player is, all that stuff. So Matt LaFleur clearly wants Aaron Jones on this team still.
Or
you think is
he smarter than we all think he is? And he's just not that he doesn't want him, but he knows he's not going to be on the team next year. So to keep Aaron Jones positive and producing and in a good mood, because Aaron Jones is always usually in a good mood. It's very seldom he's not. He's always a positive guy. He's always a team guy. And LaFleur, maybe he keeps bringing those things up because he doesn't want Jones to think of, have Jones hear him say that in the press, so that Jones knows, okay, my coach believes in me. My coach knows my value. My coach knows all these things. Even if the front office doesn't understand my value, my coach does. I'll play for him. So maybe LaFleur is smarter than we think, and he's doing that so that Jones is actually, even though LaFleur knows he's not coming back next year because the front office won't pay him, but he knows, I need this guy, and I do respect him, and I do love him, and I do want him, because he says, I love Aaron. He said, I love Aaron Jones. Matt LaFleur has said that numerous times in press conferences, and he probably does.
He said it almost as many times as you.
I know. And I think I think that's what it is. He's like, listen, I need this guy, and I know I need this guy. And I would love to have him back next year, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. So to keep him happy, to keep him chugging and working good this year, I'm going to let him know as much as I can to his face. I'm going to let him know through the media. I'm going to let him know through his grandma. I'm going to call his brother. I'm going to call his mom and dad. I'm going to call his baby who was just born. I'm going to let the baby know, hey, baby, I love your daddy, Aaron Jones. He's going to call everybody and tell him, because he can't afford to have Aaron Jones have his attitude go in the tubes. And that's what I think is maybe LaFleur's smarter than we all think he is.
Maybe. I guess the correlation, what it reminded me of was, the last year Micah Hyde was on the Packers, and even not just that year, but other times when they talk about Micah Hyde, and Mike McCarthy would say, because a lot of people would say Micah Hyde, he's a 5th round draft pick. He wasn't the fastest guy. He wasn't the biggest guy. He wasn't the strongest guy, all this stuff. But Mike McCarthy would go on and on about him. He's like, Micah Hyde is just a damn good football player. Yep. And we like good football players. Like, I love having good football players. So McCarthy said that all the time in the media, and it did him no good.
No.
Right? So it just
no good.
To me, it just clearly shows that the front office makes the decisions on those things. The coach has no say.
Yeah.
And
which makes you then think, okay, maybe, because I thought that LaFleur was upset with Rodgers and wanted a guy who would run his offense the right way. And it makes you realize that maybe, you know what? Maybe LaFleur didn't have anything to do with the Jordan Love pick or the A.J. Dillon pick. We did have something to do with the DeGuara pick because he loved the DeGuara. So maybe he finally got like the 3rd round. Maybe Goody's like, okay, fine, here, I'll make sure you get your guy with the 3rd round. But especially since I trade your 4th, I can't wait till the 5th. He might not be there. So here, shut up, take this 3rd round pick and shut up and leave me alone, because I drafted Love and A.J. Dillon. I don't know. But you're right. Maybe I don't know. But LaFleur, he's got to work with what he's got.
Yep.
And and like I said this last week, it wasn't as much like he's shown he can run plays that get guys open, and it's awesome. And this last week was more one-on-one stuff, and it was weird. And it wasn't like, they can do that when they need to, but if they go up against a good defense, it's not going to fly. So I don't know. we'll see what happens there. But like, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it made me think of, because I remember how many times Mike McCarthy would say that and just talk about Micah Hyde's a damn good football player, and that's what he is. He's a football player. Because people would always ask him about, well, is he a corner?
Is he a corner?
Safety? Is he this? Yep. It's like he's a football player.
That's and I actually think the Bills aren't using him right.
Probably not.
I mean, his first year he got a lot of interceptions and he made the Pro Bowl, right? But when I watch the Bills games, he's just sitting back. He's like the free safety most of the time. He's very seldom, like when he was with the Packers and he was making plays, he was the Chandon Sullivan guy. He was like the
slot corner. He's awesome.
He was covering dudes. He was tackling running backs. He was making plays on the ball. He was breaking on freaking huge plays and stuff. He just did awesome stuff. And they went to the Bills and they put him at freaking free safety, where he got a couple picks his first year and made the Pro Bowl. But since then, he kind of just sits back there and teams don't even try to throw it at him. Plus, they drafted that other guy who seems to be their roamer guy, he's a little faster and more athletic. So they let him kind of run around and do stuff. And they kind of Micah gets stuck standing around in like 20 yards back. He's the, doing the ha-ha Clinton Dix role, except he actually, tries on plays instead of stands like a ding-dong. But I don't know.
He's got great hands, too.
In a perfect world, we'd have Micah Hyde and Aaron Jones, and they'd be fighting over 33. They'd be like, oh, I want a 33. I want 33. That would be nice. I want 33. And they'd have to fight over it. But it didn't happen.
That would be nice. All right, let's see what we got here. Anything rolling in the chat? What else? Any of you guys got any breaking news? Anything big you want us to rap about tonight, or you guys want to rap about tonight on here? In the meantime, we'll close with a little bit of Panthers stuff, but I'm going to explain my number 2 seed tag tonight.
You've been talking about this for like 2 weeks.
I'm the fan of the number 2 seed and the number 2, of course, but also the number 2 seed. And the big reason is this. Now, we talked a little bit about it. I got into it a little bit on Tuesday, and a lot of people have been talking about it. Aaron Rodgers talked about it a bunch, and maybe that's fine. Maybe he knows how to play in the cold. But a bunch of these guys don't. And here are the concerns for me. Like, we just watched the Packers play in the dome. No weather elements, nice and toasty, no slipping, no footing issues, no any of that. And we saw MVS play great. And we saw Devontae dominate. And we saw Rodgers throw it awesome. And we saw the run game be pretty good. So we saw the offense be dynamic and effective and what they should be. And then we saw the defense get into a point where they could rush the passer. And even though they still are porous at times, they got some sacks, they got a couple stops. That's mostly what we need. Now, if you take that and you put it out in Lambeau Field in late January in Green Bay, Wisconsin, here's a couple things you're going to get. It's going to be cold, right? Even if it's not snowing, it's going to be damn cold. So number one, you're going to have some drops. You're going to have some drops that could kill drives possibly. Most likely. You're going to have players slipping. Receivers who are trying to run fast out of their break, and then they fall down, and then Aaron Rodgers looks at them, they're not open, and then he gets sacked. You're going to have the other big problem you're going to have is it's going to be then a closer game. A closer game means the defense has to still try to stop the run, which they're not good at. A closer game also means that all it takes is one drop pass, one slip, one play where they can't convert and keep a drive going, and the Packers can't be as effective, and then the other team has the advantage. So I don't like a closer game. I want to see the Packers offense in conditions where they can be their best, because that's their ticket to winning in the playoffs. And if we get the lead, the defense is certainly more geared to playing against the pass than it is against the run. So those are the arguments for I don't want the playoffs to go through Green Bay. And I understand we lost the last 3 NFC Championship games on the road. But do you remember the 2010 NFC Championship game?
That was on the road too, brothers.
It was on the road, but it was cold as hell. And do you know what that game was like? It wasn't that good of a game.
Aaron Rodgers had a crappy game that year.
Because it was ridiculously cold and windy. They had to get down to the Bears, the Bears' third string quarterback,
who almost won the game for him.
Yeah. And they had BJ Raji, nose tackle, had to pick a ball off and run it in for a touchdown in order for them to win. Kenny Clark ain't doing that.
No way.
So maybe Dean Lowry, he's done it before. But the point is, I want to see this team look awesome. I want to see them play to their strengths. And playing to their strengths is having a dynamic offense that scores points, that gives them the lead so the defense can actually do what they're better at. That gives this team the best chance to win. And in a cold, crappy field, outdoors in Green Bay in January, that's not the game you're going to see. So
not only that, hey, what are the opposing teams going to do to our defense?
Yes,
they're going to run the ball. And do you want to see the Packers defense try to stop the run in the cold? Hell no, they're going to get creamed. I'm scared about that too.
Those are the reasons why. That's why I say I don't want this whole number 1 seed.
And it'd be different if we had like fans in the stands, right?
Yeah.
But this year with no fans, Lambeau, I mean, I don't think that's really an advantage. I don't. Not with this particular team, the way they are set up. Yes.
I mean, you need MVS to produce. You know, even Devontae, if it's a sloppy field or a crappy field, it's that much when he's trying to do all his juke stuff, it's that much longer for him to get his footing to get out into his pass route. So, and the timing with that just might not work as well. Or an offensive lineman can't hold up as good because his cleat is slipping out because the field sucks. I get it. Everybody still wants to tell me home field is better for them. But I remember 2011. I remember 2013 when the 49ers came to Lambeau and it was ridiculously cold, one of the coldest playoff games in Lambeau history. And the Packers lost. And you know why they lost? Because it was a close game. And because late in the game, the other team had a quarterback who could run. And he ran on him and he got first downs. And they couldn't stop him. I don't want to see a close game. I want to see a game where they can light it up. You remember 2010 when they played in the Dome in Atlanta? They lit them up. And then the very next week, the same team played in the crappy cold in Chicago, and they struggled.
Not only that, against the Eagles week before, they needed Tyrone Williams interception in the end zone in the last second to win that game. So they weren't really dominating. The only guy who dominated that game, to be honest, was your guy, James Starks. And Double D. Double D had a great game, too. I went back and watched that game. Double D had some killer catches in that game, by the way, on the way to the Super Bowl. So, like, I know he got hurt in the Super Bowl, so he didn't really get to enjoy it, but he was a key contributor in that Eagles game, and so was James Starks. Aaron Rodgers did not have that great a game. His best game was in the Dome and then in the Super Bowl in the Dome. Those were his two best games. The outside games, not so great. If you look at the playoffs with the Packers over the years, when the 49ers came to town, that was bad news, right? When the Packers played the Giants, if they would have been on that love boat thing that they did, and Beckham was dropping passes like every freaking other play, right? They probably and the Hail Mary at the end of the first half, that probably would have lost that one. And then the Dallas game, they got the Des Bryant catch, no catch. Otherwise, they would have lost that game. And then no, they would have lost that freaking game, dude. They couldn't stop them.
Last year against the Seahawks,
if that game would have went one more quarter or two more, not even that, 3 more minutes, Russell Wilson would have came out and won that game.
If Russell Wilson would have just decided to run around in the first half instead of waiting until the second half, they probably would have lost that. So I'm telling you, the history is there. And Eckes puts a comment in the chat saying 2010, we had defense. That's even more reason to not have.
We don't have it.
You don't have defense now. So if you're in a close game and you don't have defense, here's what you want to put here's the reason why. Here's the argument. Do you trust this offense to win a game for you or this defense to win a game for you? Should be the offense. That's the correct answer, is the offense. What conditions can the offense play better in? Not Green Bay, negative 25 degrees in crappy weather in Lambeau. No. So that's it. No, Browner, not let's go number 1 seed. Stop it. I don't. Okay, fine. You guys want it. You guys take it. Okay, we'll see what happens. But if it's a dud in Lambeau, I'm going to be pissed. And I'm going to throw it all. I'm going to blow up about it.
I've heard a lot of people say, too, they're like, well, I would rather have the Saints come to Lambeau and blah, blah, blah. Drew Brees passed it in the cold. I'm like, you know what? If the Saints came to Lambeau, we'd see a lot more Taysom Hill, I would
that'd be
guess.
scary.
And he would be running all over the goddamn place because we couldn't stop him. And people
Colin
got to remember
Kaepernick
that
all
too.
over again.
Yeah, I mean that Kaepernick. I still get nightmares about that game. Like that one hurt me more. Well, no, I mean the 2014 NFC Championship game was the worst game ever. But I mean that Kaepernick. I'll say this: both 49er games, the 2011 and what was it? Yeah, 2011, 2012, or it was 2012, 2013.
Is 12 and 13. 12 it was in San Francisco where he ran all over them, and 13 was super cold in Green Bay.
After that, I mean, going into the 2012 game, I was worried. I was like, oh, I don't know if, it's going to be a tough game. And then going into 2013 playoff game, I don't know if everybody remembers this or not. That game was almost blacked out in Green Bay because they couldn't sell all the tickets to that game. They had to have local businesses in Green Bay had to buy out the seats for a playoff game. Mm-hmm. And you know why? Because the fans knew they had no chance of stopping stinking Kaepernick. And that's the truth. Go back and look at your history. You'll see the Packers could not sell out a playoff game in 2013 against the 49ers without help from local businesses buying out seats and donating them. And I remember going to that game. I remember thinking it too. I was like, well, we got no chance. We can't stop Kaepernick, so what's the point? Mm. And do you want to feel like that again? Have a defense that can't stop anybody when that's the thing that scares me. This year, we haven't even seen, have we even seen a guy who can run yet? What happens if we get stuck with the Cardinals in the first round? I mean, Kyler Murray scares the crap out of me, dude. He runs over the place. Or Russell Wilson runs over the dang place. And then if we somehow get to the Super Bowl, thank God, that would be awesome. But we might have to face Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson running around over the goddamn place. Holy mackerel. I mean, we couldn't stop any of that. All we have is we've been facing all these slow old white guys who can't even move. We couldn't even sack Phillip Rivers that much in the second half of that. I mean, come on. You think we're going to be able to handle those guys? Oh, we need our offense to score 35 points in the playoffs for us to get to the Super Bowl. And the best chance for that to happen is probably indoors. It really is. And it's scary. And I think, like I said, if we had fans in the stands, that would probably maybe make a difference, right? It would maybe make a difference to help the defense out. But with no fans in the stands, in the cold, and not only that, the fans would at least warm up the stadium a little bit. Could you imagine negative 10 degrees in Green Bay with no fans in the freaking stand? Those guys are going to be freezing their butts off. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know Bernard makes the point that they lost in Atlanta in 2016 in the Dome. I know. But that was a severely outmatched team.
That was a team who had no business being in the playoffs.
Right.
That was the run the table team. That was I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to put this entire team on my back and go as far as I can. And the game before the Atlanta game was the Jared Cook running the super slow. I mean, we need the Jared Cook. Cowboys not cover anybody. Lane Taylor's secret offensive weapon save Aaron Rodgers and to give him enough time to get it to Cook so that Mason Crosby could hit the field goal. Otherwise, we would have never made it to Atlanta. And the Cowboys, they're just dumb. So we got lucky in that game too. I mean, not lucky, but I mean, it was the right situation. We've had the right opponent in that game for running the table. And then all those games we had to win at the end of the year. Remember, it was bad news. And when we went up to Atlanta had a good defense. They had an offense that was nuts.
Fast too. And we had Aaron Ripkowski as our running back. Yeah, our starting running back was Aaron Ripkowski.
And we had Darius Gunter covering Julio Jones.
Yeah.
So we didn't have Micah Hyde anymore.
No.
Because he was already gone by that point. And we
had him yet. We still have him.
No, not 16?
Yeah, 16, because he made the interception in the Dallas game where he jumped that bubble.
Oh, you're right. That's right. Dang.
That was his last year.
You're right. That was his last year.
That was his last year, 2016. I remember Micah and I, we texted about it.
You don't do that. But I'm not saying you're 100% correct, Jason. I'm saying you have valid points.
Yes.
That make a lot of sense. But to Packer fans, sometimes we don't believe in facts and points. We believe in our hearts and understanding that the mystique of Lambeau will get us over the top and blah, blah, blah. And that's what a lot of guys believe. And a lot of fans want to think. But that's why you have you and me here. If you want to go to some other channel, they'll tell you exactly what you want to hear. we tell you the truth. Unfortunately, this is the truth, guys. It may be sad. It may not work out. It still might work out. But I mean, Jason, you're starting to convince me that it might be a better idea to not have number 1 seed. But either way, we'd still have a home playoff game at Lambeau if we had the number 2 seed.
Number 2 is always better. The other thing
number
is,
2, we're still going to have to play somebody.
I don't like
get
this.
stuck with Kyler Murray at Lambeau anyways.
I don't like this team with a bye. I don't like this team with a bye either. They always play like crap after buys in the playoffs. I don't like it. Now, guys are already giving scores.
Ekis always talks about that. Ekis always talks about that.
They want us to move on. They're already giving scores to the games.
Scores? We haven't done the secret weapon of the show yet.
They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about it anymore. All right, let's move on. Anyway, those are my points. Think about it. Consider it. I know we want to all be tough guys playing the cold, but I'm telling you, guys from Florida and the South who have to catch passes, or California who have to catch passes, are going to be much better catching passes when it's in a dome. So, okay. What do you got?
All right. I'm going to show you some plays. They're going to make you sad.
No, I don't want to be sad.
And then I'm going to show you some plays that are going to make you not as sad.
Yay! I like that.
So this is going to take a while, and people are going to have to just deal with it, all right? So just calm yourself down.
They can always tune out if they don't want to. It's fine.
No, they don't want to tune out. They
I got to pull up one thing. While you do that, I got to get this thing ready. I got some good news, so don't go anywhere yet.
What are you pulling up? What?
It's a good news thing. It's something to share, something nice to reflect on for the year.
All right, we're going to watch a couple plays from this last game.
Let's do it.
What you're going to want to look out for is our guy, Christian Kirksey here, covering the running back out of the backfield over this way. Okay, see what I'm doing here? Got Christian Kirksey right here, half circle.
Yeah.
You got the running back coming out of here like this.
I think I already know what's going to happen, but.
Yeah, you do know what's going to happen. He gets over there.
Oh, boy.
I mean, that's just sad. It's not even fun to watch, really. Here again. Just watch the play. He moves kind of slow. He gets over there. And now, why does he take those 2 hop steps? I don't know. Just attack the guy. Just go after the guy. But he doesn't. He does 2 hop steps and then misses the tackle. Then we got another Christian Kirksey play. This one is same type of thing. This time it's a tight end. This is Christian Kirksey getting blocked by a tight end on a running play. Okay? And the reason why I want you to watch this is because the tight end comes from all the way over here, comes all the way across, and he blocks him right here. And I understand Kirksey has to wait and see what's going on, but this is what's wrong with the Packers defense. A lot of these inside linebackers don't attack. They wait and see what's going to happen because that's probably what they're told to do. So I don't know if it's always like a Packer defense, like linebackers fault. It might be scheme fault. But watch where this tight end starts, and don't you know where Kirksey is? He's here. Watch the tight end run all the way across here, get up in front, and block Kirksey so that the running back can get a bunch of yards. Okay. And he just bowls him over and takes him out of the play. And then now this time, watch Kirksey from this side. He moves in, he stands there. He gets blown over. He is not even part of the tackle. You got Redmond and you got Amos who are part of the tackle. And it's not, I don't know. It scares me to think that that's what our guys are doing, right? They're there and they're not doing stuff, right? Now what we're going to watch is, let's watch a guy who I think we all know is, maybe a secret weapon. Maybe he's a secret weapon on this team and nobody knows it. Maybe he's a guy who should get a little more playing time. I don't know. Maybe he should. And this is not even a good play by him. This is a hustle play.
Everybody thinks the Packers are going to win tomorrow night, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
They're all very confident, which is
good.
They should. They should beat Carolina. Although, a couple things about Carolina.
All right, so this is the Saints game. Here in the yellow half circle, that is our guy, Ty Summers, who played exclusively in this game because he was forced to because all the other guys were hurt. And he has to go. He goes. Just watch him on this play. and watch him hustle. He's going to miss the tackle initially and then come back and make the tackle before the first down. Even though there's like 8 other Packers over here who are kind of just standing around and not attacking the play. But Ty Summers misses the tackle, gets back at him, and hustles and makes the tackle. Just watch Ty Summers. So he goes over there. It's a screen pass. He misses it. He's not quite there. And all the other guys are kind of just standing there like, hey, okay, good job, guy. But because Ty chased him down, here he is again, 44. And that's Alvin Kamara. So, I mean, it's not like it's like a easy guy to get tracked down, right? But he hustles and he stays with it. Kirksey doesn't hustle and stay with it. Okay?
No.
Now, the next play is a play in the running game. Watch him take on the block and break off. Okay. It doesn't watch the next angle, you'll see. He takes on the guard, he shoves him, forearms him, and then gets around him and makes the tackle. So this right here, 61. He comes up, shoves this dude, gets off the block, makes a tackle. Kirksey does not get off the block. Ty Summers gets off the block, and he tackles. So watch him here. He understands leverage. He gets the outside. Now watch him. He uses his back to shield him so that he can't get, let the offensive lineman get in front of him to make that harder for him. And he makes sure that maybe he didn't get the tackle on that play, but he made sure Kamara wasn't going anywhere on that play. Right? That's awesome. That's the kind of stuff Ty Summers does. Now let's take a look at Ty Summers covering a running back in space. What a thought, right?
Mm-hmm. We've all seen, you don't have to be paying that close attention to see Kirksey trying to cover people in the last few games. It doesn't look good.
Well, actually, here, we're going to show you one more thing at first. It's going to be really sad. I'm sorry.
I don't understand how, after watching that,
Go ahead, keep talking.
What are the coaches down on the kid? Why doesn't he get to be on the field?
Well,
it's mind blowing.
I'll talk about something else here in a second too.
I mean, I know has some things that he's got to improve on, but
he's improved on him over the year. His angles, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, but he's there. At least he does something.
Now here's our guy. Here's our guy, Christian Kirksey, in coverage on a wide receiver.
No,
okay,
bad.
This is Danny Amendola. Not only does he miss the tackle, he can't cover him. He catches it, and he misses the tackle. And he didn't even have to move that far. He pretty much is right in front of him. And he still can't get there to make the tackle. Right? Look at him. He's juked out of his shorts 3 times. Can't tackle him. Gets the first down. That's Christian Kirksey. Does it do us any good? No. And I want to watch this play because this has nothing to do with Ty Summers. I want you to watch. This is the touchdown right after. Next play. Watch Chandon Sullivan and watch Jair Alexander. They're talking to each other and doing stuff, all kinds of stuff. The Lions are lined up and ready to play. They're ready to go. And Chandon Sullivan and Jair are talking to each other. He's talking. Look at that. They're talking. And now he looks.
They snapped the ball.
Now they snapped the ball. This guy is already on his way, and Chandon is still talking. Now he's like, oh crap. What happened? And they're flat-footed. And then he gets in the end zone.
Yeah.
So now watch Chandon. Watch his reaction after he realizes he's like, oh crap. And then he can't get there to make the play, right? And of course, Kirksey's over here, and there's no inside linebackers for some reason. It's all a bunch of defensive backs trying to cover on a freaking run play in the end zone or
inside the 5, like 2 yards,
which makes no damn sense,
right?
But that's the kind of stuff. Like, there's nothing these guys like. I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if it's the calls, if it's the coaching, if it's these guys are talking too much. They're like, oh, I'll cover this guy, you cover that guy. The next thing you know, the ball snapped and you're screwed. Like, you can't be doing that stuff.
It appears like there's too much thinking and too many, I don't know, adjustments, or it's too complicated or something. Because, so much of the time, the other offense is lined up ready to go, and the Packers aren't ready to go.
Now, we just watched Christian Kirksey cover a wide receiver, where he didn't have to move, and he still couldn't tackle him, right? Now, here's Ty Summers against the fastest Saint, that Harris, who's their kick returner.
Oh, yeah.
Wide receiver. Let's watch him cover that guy. He's going to come across his face. Ty looking at the tight end. He covered the tight end. Then he has to go cover the receiver. Tackles him right away. Boom. Boom. killer.
What speed can do for you.
Well, not only speed, but watch. He not only does he first he looks for the tight end, then he sees that his guy's got it covered, and then he looks for the wide receiver. Like he's looking at the tight end first, then he sees he got the wide receiver flashing in front of him. He runs after him and takes him down. I mean, it's not, and that's a fast wide receiver. That's not like some slow guy.
That's not Danny Amendola.
Well, Danny Amendola is shifty. Don't get me wrong.
He's
a shifty guy.
But he's not fast, and he's like what 190 pounds or something. He's not very big either.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I don't understand how the coaches watch what he's done and he can't get back on the field. And then they watch the tape. They watch Kirksey every week. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I get it. They're dumb. Just like Eckes likes to say, oh, they're dumb. Hey, I got like 27 more videos so I'm going to show.
Holy crap. All right, keep it going.
Here we go. Here's Ty Summers here's the next game he played against Atlanta. So he started against the Saints and he played a lot of games. He had 3 games where he played a lot of minutes. Otherwise, he hasn't played jack squat. Atlanta, he takes on the center, pushes him, gets off the block, makes the tackle. Tell me how many times you've seen Christian Kirksey do this, or even Kamal Martin. See that? He had to shift through 3 guys, but he keeps his eye on the backfield. He keeps his eyes on the backfield so he knows where the freaking running back is. That's genius. This is just some crap. Hang on, there's another play coming up here.
That's what you got to do, man. You're right. Those other guys just basically let themselves get blocked. It's just
they don't look in the backfield. They guess, and it's just weird. This is another one where he doesn't make the play, but I just want you to watch how he takes on the block and then gets around. This is against a tight end. So watch how he takes on the block, gets off the block. Now the run's not to his side, but if it was, he would have made the play. So just watch him take on this tight end. Look at that. Quick hands, gets off the block immediately. He doesn't even mess around. Does Christian Kirksey do that? No, Christian Kirksey gets blocked. So these are things, some of the things that I'm looking at. I got more. I know you're probably like, wow, we don't want to watch any more of this crap. I don't give a crap. I want to watch it.
I love watching Ty Summers. He's awesome.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, like, let's be smart about this kind of stuff.
I'm going to say it, out of recent memory, he's probably the most upside talented linebacker the Packers have had in a long, long time on the inside. Like, come on. They never get fast guys. Like Blake was a hell of a tackler and he's smart and he's awesome, but he lacked the speed. I think he has the speed.
He could be like Clay Matthews was at that point. This is what I want you on this one. Now, remember how we just watched Christian Kirksey in about the same spot on the field, right? Mm-hmm. And he was covering a wide receiver and he stood there in one place and still missed the tackle. Ty Summers is going to run forward because he thinks it's a running play. They're going to do a fake handoff to the running back. The running back is going to kind of do it like a pretend like he's staying in the black. Then he's going to sneak out. When he does all of that, Ty Summers is going to come up because he thinks it's a run. He realizes it's not a run, so he goes back in his zone all the way to the 5-yard line. Then when he realizes that the ball is coming to the running back, he sprints forward 5 more yards and tackles him right there. He does all that on this one play. So he reads the run, sees it's not a run, goes back in zone coverage, and then runs forward 5 yards and makes a tackle. Tell me how many times you saw Christian Kirksey do that. Just watch Ty Summers. Comes forward. No. Okay, I got to go back, cover my zone. Oh, what? The pass is coming up front. Boom. Smack. Hit. Tackle. Boom. How many times? Name me another middle linebacker the Packers have that do all that. And that's his second start ever. Watch him. Comes up. Oh, not a run. Okay. Oop, look up tight end. Oh, what? Run back in front of me. Okay. Boom. And he's not like out of like running crazy. Like, oh, I'm running crazy. He's solid. He knows what he's doing. He keeps his feet moving. He keeps going forward and all that kind of stuff. Right. Now here's another play. This has ended up being a touchdown drive. Okay. Against the Packers. But watch him on this play. He reads it. He stays solid. He just keeps himself open. He doesn't let himself get blocked up. Now, his defensive line in front of him is getting their butts kicked, so he has no choice. But that's one of those plays where it's like there's nothing he can do. Now it's closer to the zone or to the end zone. It's the same type of thing. He's right here. And he doesn't get blocked, but he reads what he's doing. He stays off guys, makes a tackle. Okay. Now the very next play is the touchdown.
You know what else he did there? Is first he moved forward right away as soon as they snapped the ball.
Instead of like
standing there and waiting.
Right.
Maybe that's why they don't let him play, because he attacks too much and doesn't stand around and wait like they like.
That was a block on 63, blocked Lancaster in the back. So that should have been a freaking penalty, but whatever. No, they don't call anything on these guys half the time. Now the next play is a touchdown, but they run all the way to the outside, and there's nothing he can do. But watch him here. He does the same type of thing. He keeps himself off the blocks. He runs with the stuff. He make that guy miss. See that? But he can't get over there. There's too much stuff in the way. But he made 77 miss him completely. So if that play would have watched him when 77 is going to come off and try to get him, one of these guys, I don't know, maybe it's this guy, one of these guys. Just watch him. You'll just watch his swim move. He swim moves to get off blocks. Look at that. Woo-hoo! That's genius. I mean, he's quick and he's fast and he can get off blocks because he uses his agility. He knows what his talents are. Maybe he's not as strong as some of these other guys, but he's able to uses his talents to, like, same thing. He stopped that 4th and 1 play, right? Same type of thing. Are we ever going to see this guy in the game? Are we ever going to see somebody say, okay, this guy knows what's going on. Let's get him in the freaking game because he's awesome and he's not freaking in the game. We don't see Christian Kirksey do this stuff, do we? No. I got more videos. I know you guys are saying, well, why are we watching so many videos of Ty Summers? I don't know, because I just like watching Ty Summers.
Because no one's examined it. No one's thrown it out there to say, hey, look what Ty Summers is doing. We don't understand why just because Christian Kirksey was back from injury, why he's back in the game. We don't get it. I still don't get it. And nobody's talking about it. Nobody in the media is talking about it. And Mike Penn goes on a couple weeks ago and talks about Martin, Barnes, and Kirksey, and we feel really good about those inside guys now. So he doesn't say Ty Summers' name, and he says, now we feel really good about those inside guys. And I don't understand how you watch the tape from the last few games and you watch that tape of Summers. What is it? What is it? Mike Pettin wants inside linebackers that stand around and get blocked? Is that really what he wants? Because that's what he's saying. These guys are much better at standing around and getting blocked, so we like them. Screw you, Mike Pettin. I want a linebacker that attacks and is fast.
Okay, guess what? Here's some other Ty Summers play. Here's against Atlanta again. Watch him on this one.
All right.
He's going to do the same type of thing. He's going to come forward. He's got 76 in front of him. He shoves him, gets around him. Now, he doesn't make the tackle. He would have if stinking Preston Smith wouldn't have shoved this guy into him. No, seriously, watch Preston Smith this time.
I know.
Preston Smith shoves it right into him. Otherwise, Summers would have made that tackle. But at least he keeps him there. And then, of course, then the guy's there to make the tackle, right? But Summers made that play. Preston Smith screwed it up for him, to be honest. But, hey, whatever. You got to do what you got to do. And the next one, you're going to watch him hustle a little bit. Here he is, right here in the middle. This is a hustle play. Watch how far he runs. And watch the other guys kind of slacking it. Look at Jair. Look at this. Jair, Redmond, Green. They all stand up. They all stand straight up before the guy goes out of bounds. Summers is the guy who has to hit him to knock him out of bounds. You see that? Let's watch that one more time. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I'm not saying he's a superstar. I'm saying he's a guy who works hard. Look at him. He's still running. Look at Jair's body language. Look at 25. Look at 24. They all stand up. They're like, oh, I'm not going to. And I know they're D-backs. I get it. I know they're D-backs. But it's the type of thing where it's like, hey, this guy he's something. He's trying to make plays. He's trying to do things. Let's get him in the game. And you're saying, Ben, how many videos do you have of this guy? More. So get ready.
How did he make this many good plays and the coaching
in only 2 games? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's more good plays than any of the other linebackers have made all season. And they played a lot more snaps than him. Yep.
Now this is a play. This is a play. It's not a good play. It's an okay play. I mean, it's a bad play, but it's a good play by him. This is a play showing his speed, his range, his ability to understand. Now, if everybody remembers that big Kamara screen pass that went for the big touchdown, right? Summers went inside because he had to cover the tight end. And then when he saw the ball go that way, he took off that way, and he took a bad angle. He took a straight angle at Kamara, and Kamara made him miss. And then he was the second guy that missed him because Redmond missed him first. But then Kamara made Summers miss because Summers took a straight, like a T type angle on him. So all Kamara had to do was just kind of shift a little bit and then miss him. Instead of what Summers should have done was probably went with him a little bit, like an angle like this. And Summers learned. Okay, now here's the 49ers game. He didn't play at all in the first half of the 49ers game because I watched all this tape. I spent a lot of time on this crap, dang it, so I'm showing a lot of videos. But on the second half, he finally got in the game against the 49ers. And I want you to watch him on this play because here he is. He's right here. He's going to come over this way because it's a play action play. So he's supposed to stop the run, right? Stops the run. It ends up coming back over this way as a screen pass to the wide receiver. And he comes from all the way over here, and he's the guy who makes a tackle all the way downfield. Even though you've got Amos who's running with him. He looks just as fast as Amos, and he's tracking down a wide receiver. This is that Ricky James or whatever his name is. Okay, so watch Summers. He goes, oh, that's not the right play. That's a tackle on the tight end. Ha! That's even better. That's him tackling a tight end. Remember Christian Kirksey kid? Oh, yeah, that's why this play is good. So this tight end sneaks around like this to try to hide back here to confuse you, right? Because he goes here like it's going to be a run. And he's going to like pull and block. But he comes through and then he sneaks up like this to try to, fool the linebacker. The linebacker would think to go this way, like it's going to be a run play or something. But Summers doesn't bite. He's smart enough to not bite. That's what it was. Sorry about that, everybody. But look, he's just reading his keys. I got to cover tight end. I cover tight end. I tackle a tight end. It ain't even that hard. Just read your guy. Make the tackle. Okay, now I got to show you that one I was just talking about, which shows his hustle and his speed. And then I'm done. Then that's my last Ty Summers video. And I'll let you guys.
That many good plays. I mean, I liked him.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Ty Summers is a guy who deserves to play. I don't get it. He's the Tunyon of the linebacking group. You know what I mean? He's been here for a couple years. It's the second year, right? Last year, Tunyon should have played more. We all know that. But because they had Jimmy Graham, he didn't play. This year, this guy needs to play. And he's got Owen Burks and all these other guys in front of him.
And they'll do the same thing. Next year, they'll figure it out. Next year, he'll play.
Well, maybe. They might have to cut, they'll cut Kirksey to save money and all this other stuff.
Yeah, Summers is play 7th round pick. He's cheap as heck. So
yeah. This is the play I was talking about. So he's over here. If you look right here, this is that Ricky James. It's going to be a play action pass this way, and then it's going to be a comeback to a wide receiver screen. One of these offensive linemen comes through and blocks, and then the tight end here blocks. And Summers goes this way with the play action, and then he comes all the way back. And it's just him and Amos who track him down. But Summers is fast enough to get all the way from over here because he changed his angle, right? He's smart enough to change his angle. Instead of going straight, he goes back. Now, it takes him a long time to get there, but he's all the way coming from the other side of the field, so give him a break, right? So watch him on this. Look at it. Look at where he is. Look at where the ball carrier, where the guy who's going to catch the ball is. Not only that, here's two guys coming up front for that screen. And who's in front? You got one Packer here. I think this is Savage back here. And that's it. And then Amos. So, I mean, this should have been a touchdown. If that was Christian Kirksey right here, touchdown. But because it's Summers, it was not a touchdown. And watch Summers. He starts taking a bad angle, then he's like, nope. Huh? Yeah, baby. He's got the speed and the range to make the plays, even to catch a wide receiver from all the way to the other side of the dang field. I mean, come on. How is he not in the game? I don't understand. Savage gets blocked. And even Amos, look, he's just as fast as Amos. Amos is a D-back. I mean, come on. That's some hustle. This one's even better. This might be one of my favorite plays. This play, there's a big mess in here. The center comes out, and this tight end comes all the way across and then lead blocks up like this. Summers is quick enough and smart enough. He makes both of these guys miss. Both these guys have a chance to block him. Neither of them do. And he makes a tackle over here because he's smart and fast. Watch this. It's awesome. Watch this tight end come all the way across with his lead blocker. And then you'll see Summers coming across. Look at him. You can see the center. Center misses him. He gets through that guy. Boom. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's awesome. Did you see that? Watch from this angle. Look at this. 44 comes all the way across. The center comes out. Both those guys miss Summers, and Summers makes a tackle. Two guys had a chance to block him. Neither of them do because he's too fast. Boom. He's too fast. Why isn't he in the freaking game? Okay, that's all my Summers videos. But I went back and I looked at all these games. I was like, wow, okay. What am I missing? What are the Packers missing? Yes. Did he miss a tackle? He missed a tackle on one time. He had Gurley in the hole on a 4-yard touchdown run, right? And he missed the tackle and Gurley scored. Yes. Did he take that bad angle against Kamara that led that big 52-yard touchdown? Yes, that's true. Those were 2 bad plays he had. But I just showed you like 7, 8, 9, 10 plays. I don't even know how many. Where he's hustling, he's tackling, he's covering, he's getting off blocks. I couldn't even show you that many plays of Kirksey or Barnes or Martin doing any of that stuff. So, what's the deal? What's the deal, everybody? Okay, take it over. I'm done talking for a while. I know that was long, but man,
that was good.
I kept finding more and more plays. I was like, good God, I forgot he did that play. Holy crap, I forgot he did that play. Holy crap, he can get off blocks. Holy crap, he can cover a tight end. Oh, wait, he can cover a running back. Oh, wait, he can cover a wide receiver. Oh, wait, he can chase down a wide receiver. He can get off a block of a center. He can get off a block of a tight end. He can be fast enough to outrun a freaking fullback to the edge. Why isn't he in there? I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I know Eggus loved Papinga, so he brings up a Papinga reference.
Papinga. I don't know. Papinga
but he wasn't fast, but it's fine. But he was also white, I guess, in a linebacker. So that's the and a good guy. And he was pretty good. But no,
that was like 20 minutes. I apologize, but
dude.
I couldn't help it. I just saw so many good plays. I was like, I'm doing all these plays. I don't care.
You don't need to apologize because it's important, because that is the position we chose not to address early in the draft. And on top of it, that was a huge factor in run defense being better or not being better. And you see what it's like when Kirksey's in there. And not just the run defense, but the pass defense. The middle of the field.
He's actually worse in pass defense, right, I think, than he is in run. He's actually better in run defense than he is pass defense.
No, he's terrible. Kirksey's been really bad. I'm really disappointed. And I mean, he had some plays when you saw his highlight plays from his first 4 years or whatever, or 6 years.
Where he was shooting gaps and getting in the backfield and making plays in the backfield. Yeah, I saw all those. I was like, awesome. Let's see that.
He's not doing any of that. And he's much slower now. So I don't know what the whole deal is, but it doesn't make any sense. The Packers have not had that much impact from any other linebacker. None of the other guys they put in there. I don't know what the assignments are. We don't know what the assignments are. Maybe Mike thinks Chris Barnes is more assignment, sure. Or Kirksey's supposed to know what he's doing more because he's knows the defense longer. But Kirksey in this other guy's tape I watched today, that film, he showed Kirksey inexplicably like taking on the wrong gap, like getting out of his gap and guessing in the wrong gap and leaving a huge hole in places. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. I don't understand how the coaches can watch this and not play that guy as their starting inside linebacker. He's done it in games. Does he have things to improve on? Yes. But he does things that none of the other guys can do. Plus, he's got the speed. He's better at everything than any other linebacker they have. Maybe Barnes is a slightly better tackler, but that's it.
I actually think him and Barnes together are the best combo. I mean, and that was the Saints game. It was Barnes and Summers together. And guess what? They beat the Saints, who is the number 2 seed right now in the NFC, by the way. Not only that, they beat Atlanta, who's got a high-powered offense when he played most of the game. And they beat the 49ers. And he was playing with a bunch of second-string guys when he was in the game for that whole second half almost, especially the fourth quarter. But he was still running around doing stuff. So it's like, listen.
And that's a 7th-round pick and an undrafted guy.
Right. And here's the other thing. He doesn't shoot the gap and make plays in the backfield, right? He doesn't tackle in the back. He doesn't do that kind of stuff, which is you'd like to see. Like Kamal Martin had one of those plays, I think, against the Lions this last week.
Yeah, Martin attacks probably more than anybody, but he also gets himself out of position,
right? A
lot more too.
And the other reason is because this defensive line is not a gap, like a 2-gap hold or hold the guys up. And the only guy who does that is Tyler Lancaster. Lancaster's the only guy who holds up his block, holds up 2 guys. Like, remember Mike Daniels used to just sit there and like take on 2 guys and just like get his knee down and so that somebody can make a play behind him.
Yep.
And these guys don't do that. So what they need is a linebacker who's good enough to quick and get off the block and keep his eyes on the running back and then go to where the running back is. Maybe the running back's going to get 3-4 yards, but he's going to make the tackle. It's not going to be an 8-yard gain on 1st and 10, like what we've been seeing with the Packers defense lately, because the guys can't get off blocks and they're not fast enough to get over there because the defensive line is not getting penetration and they're not holding their spots. Because this defense doesn't, the other place they didn't address in the offseason, right? So he's just the right guy for this team at this point. He's like Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the right running back for this offensive line. Ty Summers is the right middle linebacker for this defensive line. Okay? And they need to figure this crap out and get him out there. And not only that, even if they don't figure that out, I've shown you his coverage skills. Chris Barnes has been the guy who's been in there on the dime coverage and nickel coverage the last couple games, like the game against the Lions. He's not fast enough. Ty Summers needs to be the guy, at least in nickel coverage, for God's sake, covering tight ends and running backs and wide receivers. He can shoot. I just showed you him doing it. So why is he not the guy in there? Because he does a better job than any other linebacker we have. Maybe Owen Burks. Owen Burks is actually not bad at coverage either. But whatever. All right. I know I talked way too much, but gosh, dang on.
It's fair points and good illustration of what they have. As much as they struggle at that position, they have a guy who could be an upgrade, and for some reason the coaches aren't playing him. I don't get it. Now, the schemes, who knows? We don't know what the actual schemes are. We don't understand what some of the responsibilities are. But in every defense, there are gap responsibilities for every gap should be covered in some form or fashion in every defense by somebody. So I can't say it's scheme. I have to say it's players' instincts, players' ability. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Ty Summers is showing plenty to me that he should be on the field. So let's talk a little bit about the Panthers game and then let's get out of here.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, here's a couple of interesting factoids for you. Oh no, I got one more fun thing too. I'll give you that right before we leave. So Panthers, now they're a terrible team, right? Not good, what do they got? 4 wins, right? Something like that. All right, not a good team.
4-9.
Packers should dominate them. Everybody already put in the chat how the Packers are going to win by a lot of confidence here. Fine. However, the Panthers have lost 7 of their losses are one score games. All right. And 3 of the last 4 losses that they've lost 3 of their last 4 games by a total of 8 points. 3 losses by a total of 8 points. All right. So that's not a team you should take lightly. That's not a team you should think the Packers are going to blow out, because they don't get blown out. Almost every time they beat the teams they've played, almost every time they've lost this year, it's been by 1 score. So don't think this is going to be a blowout. I don't expect it to be. I really don't.
Packers are favored by 9 points, by the way, by a lot of these betting places. I never bet, but I just hear about this stuff, and it's like, really, 9 points they're favored by?
If you look at the track record of the Panthers, I know they're not going to have McCaffrey, but Bridgewater doesn't make too many mistakes. They still have a solid defense. They still play hard. I think, and they've played with everybody they've been up against. They've been in the game. So I don't expect
the thing about the
them to be
Panthers,
blown out.
The Panthers defense, they have a bunch of young guys that are playmakers. So sometimes they make mistakes, but they got this chin guy at safety who they drafted this year, who's like got turnovers and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They got Brian Burns, who's one of the guys who people thought should have been drafted ahead of Rashawn Gary last season, who's an outside linebacker type, blitzer type, pass rusher guy, and who's been getting some pressure on the quarterback. They got Shaq Thompson, who's a good pressure on the quarterback type guy and coverage guy and linebacker. So, I mean, they've got some guys to make plays. Their corners are the weak part. So I got a feeling we're going to be passing a lot. They're supposed to be really good against the run. Their run defense is supposed to be pretty good, but that could be just because they're in games where they were losing and the team they're going up against was, or I don't know. It must be good, right? It must be good against the run. I don't know. But I just know that they have young players that are pretty, they're aggressive. They take some chances because what do they got to lose? Nothing. So they go for it.
I guess also frustrated the Packers didn't play Kumaro enough, and that's another guy who showed stuff and didn't get to play that much. We get it.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. I'm gonna give you the series thing, and I'm gonna go to a really interesting thing right in my last point on this, and then I have to show you something nice. The Packers lead the all-time series 9-6. Regular season wins 9-6 is the record, and you know that these teams have only met once in the playoffs. You remember? Everybody should remember that playoff win.
That was a great.
Bernard, you
game.
probably were too young, but
that was the Dorsey Levens game.
Yep,
that was a game where Dorsey Levens destroyed everybody. But then Edgar Bennett got all the touchdowns somehow, well, except for the one touchdown with Dorsey. Remember that catch Dorsey had?
That was crazy.
Where it was
I can't
like
believe Favre threw it there because
and he was like, I don't know what he was doing. His back was all weird. He had to like bend all weird just to get. He kept his feet in bounds and caught it right on the end, way on the side the end zone. It was a beautiful catch. Had a bunch of screen passes. He had a bunch of receiving yards that game. He just tore the freaking Panthers up. That was awesome.
Receiving, he was really dynamic in that game, even more than rushing that game.
Yeah.
Now here's something interesting. Okay, this is an interesting note and something to think about. Now the Packers are tied for the fewest turnovers in the NFL so far, with 9 turnovers.
Yep.
But who has the better turnover margin, the Panthers or the Packers this season? Who do you think?
Well, you wouldn't be asking me if it wasn't the Panthers, so I guess it's
sure?
the Panthers.
It is.
Yeah.
The Panthers are +5, and the Packers are only +4.
Because they don't get turnovers on defense.
Right. And we know that's another key thing in deciding games.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater is he never takes chances. You know what I mean? He very seldom throws deep. That's why he was so great with the New Orleans last year. It was like they just plucked him out and was like, "What? You're Drew Brees 2.0. Here you go. Just do the same thing Drew Brees does. Throw to the open guy and make the right decision and don't try to do too much and we win." Okay, great. Problem is the Panthers team isn't as good as the Saints team, and that's why his team this year doing the same exact type of thing. And they're not winning as many games as the Saints win because he doesn't have as many good players around him. Though this Mike Davis guy, I think it's a running back they got right now. He's kind of a tough guy. He's like 5'9", 220 some pounds. He's like a big, he's short, not little. I mean, 5'9" is not short, but short for a football player. But he's got like a bowl about him, like he runs over dudes. He runs hard. So that's could be an issue for us. He's no Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's shifty and great in the passing game, but this guy's pretty tough and he can run you over. And then they got a lot of good receivers. And that the guy from the Jets, that Robbie Anderson, he seems to be Teddy's favorite guy. He's thrown to him constantly, even though they have a different guy, that DJ Moore or something, who is like he's supposed to be their bigger guy, more like
he's back now.
Yeah, he's back, and he's got like I guess he's got like 18 yards per catch or something.
Yep.
Even though he's not the fastest guy. And then Robbie Anderson is not, he's only got like 12 yards per catch, but he's like he's like a 6'3", 180-pound guy. And then Moore is like 5'10" and 220 pounds. So it's weird how they're like role reversal for usually the size, but they're good receivers. But Teddy Bridgewater doesn't take the chances, and that's why the Packers have they just have to be. It's going to be a lot like the Saints game, where we might be seeing some things, a lot of underneath things. Packers might play a lot of zone because Teddy's going to try to, he won't throw over the top. So you got to let him catch it and make sure you tackle. Well, good luck with that with Packers defense.
One other thing we don't want to talk about is the Panthers have pretty good return teams as well at specials. So, I mean, that's how everybody putting in hey, double-digit win for the Packers in the chat already. I'm like, did you know that the Panthers they've lost 7 games by 1 score? Did you know that they have good special teams return teams? Because those 2 things right there tell me that I don't think it's going to be so easy. I think it's going to be interesting. I think the Packers will win, but I think it'll stay interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right. Everybody else give their final scores. I'll look those up. Ben, you give us a final score. And then
the other thing I was going to say is I don't know. This game is only going to be on NFL Network and then I think a couple local Green Bay stations and stuff. So
they said Green Bay and Milwaukee Fox and then in Charlotte, but it better be in freaking Madison Fox too, or I'm going to be pissed.
Well, I know I'm not going to get it because I don't have NFL Network right now. So I'm going to have to, but I got Game Pass. So I'll just watch it after. Yeah, I don't want to get the free phone football because it only gives me free phone football if it's something that I would normally get with a cable subscription, a regular TV subscription. So the ESPN games I get, but for some reason the NFL Network I don't get because that's not the normal. Whatever.
Oh.
But just make sure you know you can watch it wherever you are, and don't like all of a sudden turn your TV on and think you're going to be able to see it because some people aren't going to be able to do that. So if you really want to watch the game, look ahead of time and be like, okay, well, where can I go to see this, or what can I do, or go visit a friend, or well, don't do that. It's COVID-19. So I don't know what you want to do. Screw you. Sorry.
Visit a friend. Just keep your distance and be safe.
I could listen to good old Larry and Dagger Boy because I do get with Game Pass. I get to listen to the radio broadcast, but I don't know if I want to do that because I'll probably rather watch it after because I can watch as soon as it's done. Then I can watch the whole game.
There you
and
go.
then I have to work at 5 a.m, but I guess I'll just stay up till like 3 a.m. to watch the game.
All right, I got the scores. Browner says when he wanted us to stop talking about whatever we were going on and on about, and everybody else did. Browner said Packers 34, Carolina 20. I don't know if you guys want to, anybody that's still around, if you want to redo those scores now that I gave you a couple of those interesting factoids, but that's fine. Ekis says 34-27 Pack. Bernard thought it was 35-17 Pack. Rick says
I thought he was worried about it.
He was worried, and then he gives him like a big margin of victory. I don't know. Maybe that.
Well, he's got
worried.
split personality. That's what it is.
It's okay. It's okay. Maybe we convinced him otherwise. Rick says 38-24 Packers, and those were the scores we have. Wildman says 28-17 Packers. I don't know.
Wild man, dude.
When was the last time the Packers kept people to 17 points? I don't know. I can't remember. When people are thinking the defense is going to hold teams down that far, I just don't see it. I don't see this defense too often giving up less than 3 touchdowns, but what they give up last week? Yeah, they gave up more than 3 touchdowns last week. Yeah. That's what they do. Because even if they're playing good through 3 quarters, that fourth quarter, they're going to give up.
Usually the fourth quarter, they have the special teams messed up where somebody returns it back for a touchdown or they return it really far. So that's at least 3 points, if not 7 right there. And then, and they usually give up about 14 points in the first half. And then they give up about 10 to 14 points in the second half. So it's like, 23, 28 points. I think it's going to be probably right around there again. I'm going to say 34-27. So they'll win by 7. They won't cover the 9 points. But
I'm going to say 38-27.
Whoa, 38-27. Okay.
Yeah, win by 11. Mason's got to get one more kick in there this week. Only one, though. Mom's favorite Packer right now. Favorite.
Hey, I got to ask Rick if he watched the Raiders game last night. Did he hear Joe Buck? Bernard's talking about Joe Buck. Did he hear Joe Buck go, passes, caught, passes, caught, passes, caught. And there was one time where he was like, where he didn't say that right away. He was like, oh, and it's, I remember what exactly he said. But Jesse, no, I don't know. Jesse was downstairs and I was watching the game and she's down and she's like, I can leave, And I'm like, well, he does it. How come when I do it, it's more annoying? And she's like, because I can ignore him. You just do it super loud. It doesn't even bother. Because I do it every time he do it, I do it again. It's like, this is the thing. If you really want to get drunk, Ekis, when you watch the game, if it's Joe Buck, take a shot. Every time you hear him say, pass is caught, you're going to be messed up. You will be messed up. Your blood alcohol level through the roof. Do not drive after a Joe Buck game if you're going to do the Joe Buck drink every time he says caught.
Dang. Hey, somehow we missed Balaz or Balaz missed our Tuesday show. I don't know. That was weird. It has me concerned.
Maybe he's sick of us. He's getting mad.
Oh, don't be sick. He has so many good comments. We can't possibly talk about them all, but I do try to let him know we really appreciate his comments and his insight. And I hope he still keeps watching because, he's our guy in Europe to help spread the brand. So, anyway, hey, here's something interesting. So YouTube sends out this little follow-up. It's a nice way to end the show. And maybe you just say, wow, I can't believe this. Or maybe you say, oh, that's kind of nice. But regardless, it's something we tried to do for not just for ourselves, but for everybody, especially during these crazy times. So I got this little follow-up to Hafeman Bros at Gmail saying 2020, Hafeman Bros. 2020 went off script, but you kept us inspired by uploading 5,760 minutes of content. Your hard work, worth celebrating. Let's take a moment to reflect, all right? Look at this. We joined YouTube 589 days ago.
Whoa.
From the first video upload until now, your fans have smashed the subscribe or the like button 730 times. Community's growing. Look at this stuff. You made 2020 your own. This past year, you gained 59 subscribers, all right? And 11,863 new views. So that's pretty awesome. Now,
And only 11,000 of them were mom and dad.
no, that's not true. Probably 11,000 of them might have been for about a minute, and then they're like, let's get rid of these two yahoos. I'm never coming back here again. But
Is it Yahoo? Because I always say Yahoo.
Yahoo?
Yeah. Yahoo
All
sounds weird. I say Yahoo.
Yahoo. That's because you, I don't know. Okay. I get it. That's because you want to win fantasy football, the old Yahoo fantasy football. Viewers spent, okay, here's the real test. Viewers spent 139,058 minutes watching your videos in 2020. Huh? Can you believe that?
That means we made a lot of videos. Doing 2 shows a week for the last 4 months and 1 show a week for the first 6 months. Yeah, that'll do it. You'll get a lot of views then.
And we do long shows, but we do appreciate everybody that checks them out for as long as you want. Again, it's one of those things, right? This is kind of like a long format radio program that doesn't have any commercials, which I know makes it harder to kind of hang with sometimes, but it makes it harder for us too, because we don't get the breaks to like regather our thoughts and ourselves and have different segments. But the point is this, you know, we come on here, we want to rap about stuff. We think, you know, we bring up not just the standard stuff that everybody's talking about, although of course we do talk about some of the you know, common things people talk about. We try to give you our honest takes, and we try to do our best. Now, sometimes does it go as well as we'd like? No. But are we better than some people who do this sort of stuff? Yeah. So I don't know. If you find it interesting, if you find some good out of it, entertaining, even if you're just laughing at us, I don't care. Hopefully we make you think a little bit, maybe consider the number 2 seed, other things like that.
Ty Summers.
Ty Summers that other people aren't talking about as like a really good thing for the Packers. But I mean, we're just trying to do a show that hopefully is entertaining, informational, and at least some fun. And that's what we try to do with it. So anyway, if you watch for 5 minutes or you watch for the whole time of every show and watch every minute of it, we appreciate you. Remember, we're here for however long you watch, and check it out. And you can always turn it off if you don't like what you see that night. So, all right, Ben, who do you got over there again? I forget.
Drogo, he watches all the shows.
Oh.
He's doing the Jedi mind trick that you will watch all the shows.
Oh.
Mandalorian was amazing.
That's awesome.
Woo. Watch it. Last 10 minutes is crazy. Made me so happy.
Check out Packers tomorrow night. Again, it's on the NFL Network, some Fox stations, maybe the NFL app, or see what you can do. But yeah, look into how you can actually see the game. Don't just pop your TV on at 7:00 and think you're going to get it. So look into that. Be heads up. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay well, take care of yourselves. Go Pack, go, and we'll catch you next week after hopefully another Packers victory. We want them to win this one. They can lose against the Titans. That's fine.
No.
No? Oh, all right. That's next week. Beat the Panthers. Let's go. Packers, go. And number 1 seed for another week. Number 2 at the end.